Yo guys, what's up? Welcome to CryptoGyani, your door to success. In today's video, I will be talking on the topic WWH of Bitcoin. But before going into that, let me tell you a few things. If you want to gain your knowledge on Bitcoin, Ethereum, smart contracts, blockchain education, then go to the website, links down there, cryptogyani.co, and get yourself educated on these topics. Or if you are searching for investment opportunities, investment ideas, ICOs, then also go to that website cryptogyani.co and you can get all those stuff over there. So let's start. To understand Bitcoin, we need to answer 5 important questions. The number one question being is why Bitcoin? Second question arises, what is Bitcoin? The third question arises, how it is created. The fourth question arises, the price and security of the Bitcoin. And the last question arises, the pros and cons of Bitcoin. That is the advantages and disadvantages of Bitcoin. So let's jump into the first question. But before going into that, let us understand what is money. In today's world, money is something which is backed by a central authority. Say suppose your currency. Your currency states that this currency is backed by the respective country's government. In India it's RBI, in US it's the Federal Reserve, and in any other country their respective central authority. That piece of paper has a value written on it, and that is backed by the central authority. Say for example, you need to buy a product worth rupees 500, and that rupees 500 in INR needs a 500 rupees note. To redeem the 500 rupee value, you need a 500 rupees note. So you present the 500 rupees note. Now that note is backed by the central authority. But what if that currency is no longer a value? It's valueless. It won't go to zero, even though, but it will be less in the value. What happens in that situation? Well, you would be in a hyperinflation situation. Like in out of 193 countries, 22 countries in the past 25 years have suffered hyperinflation due to this paper currency stuff only, because the government prints a whole lot of currencies that's more than the demand, and hyperinflation comes into play. That's more than 10% of the countries all over the globe has suffered hyperinflation. That's a major issue. They can print n number of currencies if they want to feel like. So there was a problem that the world needs to address, and that problem came with a solution. The solution to that problem is Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies. Currently, it's the Bitcoin is more dominant in the market. That's right. Bitcoin. What did it do? Bitcoin was based on the blockchain concept. I'll come that to you in the second question. But let us understand why Bitcoin is necessary or any other cryptocurrency possible. It's not only about Bitcoin. It's any other cryptocurrencies it may. We still do not know which cryptocurrency would be the mainstream. Say for example, you want to send 100 USD to a friend in Australia or UK or USA, take whichever country you want to feel like. Today at say suppose today is Sunday night 3 a.m. How would you send it? You have to wait for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning you have to go to your bank, fill up some forms, pay some charges, wait for a couple of days, and your money will get transferred over there. So that's the current financial condition we are living in, and it's miserable. It's like in 21st century we have to wait a long time to send our money to someone across the border. That issues are also solved by Bitcoin. Bitcoin allows us to send money across the border without having any restrictions. It's a peer-to-peer money. It allows us to send it at instantly, gets verified in 10 minutes, and boom, the transaction is over. But the current situation, we are not allowed to do that. If your funds are today in your bank account, they can literally freeze your bank account if they want to do so. Like you have to rely on a third trusted party for holding your funds. That is the situation today. Making a cross-border payments is like a lot of charges have to pay. That's the major issues we are having. We need everyone to participate in the economic development. So for that, we need the finance to be strong so that we can send as much money as we want to any other country or receive as much money as we want at any time. It should not be only Monday to Friday, 10 to 5, the banking hours. That should not be the situation which we are in the current situation. That creates a lot of problem. That is why Bitcoin is necessary. The second question, I already answered it, that what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is basically a peer-to-peer decentralized form of transferring money. It's a technology which is based on blockchain. In January of 2009, the Bitcoin protocol was set up. It started working by an unknown group of persons or an individual person we don't know. It's an anonymous name, Satoshi Nakamoto. He created the Bitcoin technology on the blockchain. The Bitcoin has its own protocol, own rules, so that you have to qualify all those rules for completing the transaction. That's the Bitcoin. It works on a peer-to-peer basis, on a decentralized manner. There is no central authority looking after your funds. So it's like you are your own bank. You have the control of your own Bitcoins. You can do whatever you want to do. You can send your money across any person without even to ask a person, without even to ask a third party. You just have to trust the network. The network is trustworthy. The network does everything for you. You just have to pay a minor fee to the network for maintaining its activities and all those stuff. And it's very minor. And your funds are transferred instantly. It gets verified in 10 minutes, average of 10 minutes. In less than 10 minutes, it gets verified. That's how the Bitcoin works. The third question is, how is it created? Well, Bitcoin is created by miners. And who are the miners? Miners are those persons who uses the computer power to validate the transaction. Suppose I am sending you 10 BTCs, which I will send you in future giveaways. I am sending you 10 BTCs, and there is a transaction which occurred, and that transaction should be written on a block of paper. Blockchain is a public ledger. It contains all the history of the transactions. Now suppose this is a paper. My hand is a paper. Now this paper has 10 columns. So I can write 10 transactions over here. These 10 transactions are verified by the miners, so that these can be recorded, updated on the blockchain. There are a network of miners. Many miners are working towards to solve those problems. These problems are basically cryptographically encrypted. Cryptographically encrypted means these are a mathematical formula which the miners are trying to guess, like an alphanumeric numbers, which the miners are trying to guess and crack it. And the first one to do those things is rewarded, because the first one to complete the block, to verify all the transactions on the block and match it by guessing the thing, mathematical formula, to its source, and seals the block, that means closes the block, and the first one announces it in the network that I have completed this block, this is the code, I have done this. The other miners who are there, who couldn't finish the work, who were doing the work with themselves, they checked that code which that miner provided, and they insert it and they verified, okay, this code matches this transaction, you have found the secret key, that's good for you, and the network rewards that miner for his work 12.5 bitcoins. Earlier the reward was 25 bitcoins, now it's 12.5 bitcoins. After every 210,000 blocks, the reward gets halved. So that's how the network works. Number 4, the price of the Bitcoin and its security. Well, for going into the price aspect and the security aspect, basically going into the price aspect, let me tell you about the example of gold. We take gold. To mine gold, we have to take our axe and every stuff, machines and everything, and mine gold. During the initial stage, we can mine gold by just digging some feet and we get gold. But after some time, it gets difficult. As the supply of gold becomes scarce, it becomes difficult to mine gold, and therefore it escalates the cost of mining the gold, and that in turn some indirectly reflects to the price of that gold. So mining gold creates the supply for the gold. If there is demand in the market, the price is there. Demand and supply concept. That same thing works in the case of Bitcoin. What Bitcoin has, Bitcoin will only be 21 million in existence, which will be mined by the miners. Currently, 16 million Bitcoins have been mined. Yes, only 5 million are left to mine. The last Bitcoin to be mined is approximately, it should be in 2140. Yes, 2140. You might be thinking that 16 million has mined and only 5 million is left, and it will take another more than 120 years to mine. Well, yes, it will take more than 120 years to mine, because the network, it will get more and more difficult to the miners to solve the problem. That will lead to scarcity. Now, Bitcoin was basically meant to create a digital scarcity. Now, you would be thinking that digital can be copied, and how can it be scarce? Well, Bitcoin is designed in such a way that it solves the problem of double spending, and it solves the problem of copying the transactions, which will in turn make sure that a Bitcoin is spent only once, and that creates digital scarcity. Bitcoin solves the problem of the Byzantine general problem of distribution. It is designed in such a way. The price totally depends on demand and supply concept. That's how Bitcoin works. And now the pros and cons of Bitcoin. Bitcoin, you can transact easily anywhere with minimal cost, instantly transaction. You are anonymous. You don't need to know that person who is there. I don't need to know the person who is sending me the money. It's just we need to trust the system, and that applies even today also. We do transactions. Like, do you want your data? Do you want your phone number, your name, your email to be sold by a third party? Like in today's world, our data are sold. You get calls from any other banks. You get calls from, you don't have an account in the bank, but you get calls from any other account, any other bank, and he knows your number, he knows your name also. That's like, it's not, the data is not secure. With blockchain, with Bitcoin, the data are secure. You don't need to tell anyone that who you are. That's a security measure. That's a very good advantage of Bitcoin. Number two, it's free. You can open your Bitcoin wallet anywhere, anytime. Bank charges you opening charges of an account. It charges fees on every transaction. It charges fees on every ATM withdrawal. It charges fees at anything you do with the bank. Banks are a traditional way. What happened with the IT? What happened with internet? Internet also did the same thing. It opened the barriers of flowing of information. Internet made information accessible to everyone. Blockchain and Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies together, the blockchain whole concept allows free flow of financial transactions. It allows free flow of data. It allows free flow of information. Internet, blockchain together combined makes a powerful stuff. And with Internet of Things, it will become even more powerful. Blockchain supports Internet of Things. It is the backbone of IoT. That's a later concept. If you want to know about blockchain, we just click this link. I think it has popped out. Yes, that's about the blockchain video, and you will get to know what is blockchain, which is backing the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is based on the blockchain technology. So to know Bitcoin properly, you need to understand what is blockchain. So click on that link, and you will be getting the blockchain information also. Where are we? The cons. It's a volatile market. The prices of Bitcoin are volatile because it's a new technology. It can go haywire. Today it's 15,000, it can go zero. So prices of Bitcoin are volatile. The second disadvantage of Bitcoin is the acceptability. Well, mass adoption of Bitcoin is a question. People still don't know what is Bitcoin. That's why the acceptability issue is there. The third is the technical developments which are taking place. The ongoing technical developments is always going on. Like, it's a new technology. Developers are still developing it. That's the disadvantage of Bitcoin. Security aspect of Bitcoin is like, it's totally secure. It is in a cryptographically hashing function. Now that's a big term. Cryptographically hashing function. Well, basically in a simple language, it's just a mathematical algorithm. Make it more simple. It's like a mathematical formula which the miners work to crack it, and you have to keep your public key and private key safe. To know about public key and private key, you have to watch the blockchain video. The private key must be stored with yourself. It's the password to your Bitcoins. You should not lose that private key. If you lose your private key, it's gone. And how to store the private key? Private key can be stored in paper wallets, hardware wallets. Hardware wallets are specific devices which come to store the keys. So there are many options to store your private key. Public key is the key with which you transact. You show your public key to the person you want to receive money. Say, I am giving you 10 BTCs. I want your public key. I will enter your public key in my wallet wherever I keep my BTCs. BTC is a short form for Bitcoin. I will take your public key. I will enter the amount of BTC. I click the send button and it will go to you. Similarly, if you want to send me 10 BTCs, then I will give you my public key. You will enter it into your wallet, put on 10 BTCs and send it to me. That's how the public key works. And that transaction gets uploaded on the ledger. The ledger miners verify that ledger, seals the ledger, total block, completes it, and then announces the reward, announces that I completed it, and each block is linked to the previous block with the cryptographic hashing function. For that, was the blockchain video. This is the video about Bitcoin, and that's how the whole Bitcoin technology works itself. Let me show you one thing. You can go to this website, that's CryptoGyani.co, and the education portal you can see over here is blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, smart contracts, everything is over there. Click on the Bitcoin and you will get the in-depth written knowledge on Bitcoin. It's over there. You see, I've talked about each and every aspect over there. What are the hiccups, what are the advantages, is this one secure, everything I've talked on. You can visit the website and get yourself educated. The investment opportunity platform is there, ICOs are there, community are, so you can join the community for future updates, for daily news, every stuff. That's all for this video. The next video will be on how to purchase and sell Bitcoins in India. Look forward to that video. If you have gained a little bit of knowledge, or you have gained a whole lot of knowledge which was new for you, then please press the thumbs up button. If any queries, comment down in this video and press the subscribe button and the bell notification button for my future updates. Thank you for tuning in.